Oh hey, I didn't notice you there. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Aputure's new 600D Lightstorm, and we're going to find out if this light is going to be for you or if you should opt in for the Pro version. So without further ado, let's get started. Siri, turn off the sun. And yeah, it packs a punch. It's really dark outside. Now I know I'm kind of late to the game when it comes to reviewing the Aputure 600D, as it was released a couple weeks ago, but I ordered it as soon as I could from B&H Photo so I can review it for you guys because I'm not sponsored. This video wasn't sponsored. Now the main differences between the 600D and the 600D Pro version is kind of determined whether or not you're a pro or you're kind of pretending to be one. Hence why I got the non-pro version. But in all seriousness, the first thing you're going to notice when you look up the 600D is that there's going to be a huge price difference between the Pro and the non-Pro version. The price for the non-Pro version is $1,390 US versus the Pro version, which is $1,890 US here on B&H Photo. So what did Aputure remove from this light to save $500? Well, the answer is not much really. The first thing is that there's no weather sealing on the non-pro version of the 600D. So if you're somebody that finds yourself doing a lot of shoots outdoors, you're probably going to want to opt for the pro version and have to spend the extra $500 to get weather sealing on your light. The second difference between the two lights is on the non-pro version, the ballast, the control ballast is a lot lighter, smaller, and stripped down compared to the pro version and the 600D. The pro version of the 600D is a lot bigger, chunkier, heavier, but it has more features, it's more refined. The screens are a lot different. One is OLED, one's like an LCD screen. On the non-pro version, when you change your output, it changes by 1%. Compared to the pro version, when you change the output with your dial, it actually changes by 0.1%, so 0.1% increments, which is pretty cool. And on this version, you can get it in gold mount or V mount. I opted for the V mount. One of the cool features that the Pro version had was that when you had your V mounts plugged in, it would actually charge your V mounts. On this more stripped down version, the non-Pro version, it doesn't have that feature, but again, just charge your batteries ahead of time and you won't have any issues on a shoot. And the last main difference on this ballast is that it doesn't have CRMX radio control. Now, if you're like me and you had to look up what CRMX radio control is, you probably don't need this feature. So if you're somebody that doesn't really need all that fanciness, you can save the $500 and go with the cheaper Aputure stripped down light, 600D light. Other than that, the 600D non-pro version really has all the same features as far as performance is concerned. It has the same rubber grommets that cover all of the parts. The power cables are still the same beefy, chunky cables. The yoke design is the same. The ballast still offers the several lighting effects, the DMX control, and Sidus link compatibility. The light still comes with a nice roller bag that has all of the Aputure branding on it, making it convenient to carry around to different shoots. But the most important thing is that the light output is the same as the Pro version, coming in at a ridiculous 20,000 lux at 1 meter with just the bare chip, and 100,000 lux when you add the included hyper reflector dish. And now if that's still not enough output for you, you can buy the F10 Fresnel attachment and bar doors, which I highly recommend if you want to get the most out of this light. With that attachment, you could take the light up to 250,000 lux at 1 meter or 10,000 lux at 5 meters. That is insane. And something to note is that the F10 Fresnel actually fits in the carrying case when you remove the hyper reflective dish, making that one less bag that you have to carry with you on a shoot. So this begs the question, why do you need such a powerful light? The way you light somebody is gonna be limited to the amount of output you have available to you. So in this example here, I have my frame set up shooting up against the window, and if you've ever been in the situation, you either have to expose for the skin tones and blow out your highlights, or expose for the highlights, but then your skin tones are going to be underexposed. So if you're like me and you want to expose for your highlights, that means your subject is going to become underexposed. But when you have a powerful light like the 600D, you can expose for your highlights and blast the light to your subject to bring them out giving this a more professional looking image. And this is just not possible with a smaller light like the 120D or even the 300D. So one of the things that we can do with the 600D is we can set it up to make an artificial sun coming through the window. Now, if you can see here, the sun is coming blazing in through the left. However, it's not coming in through the window. So if you wanted to get some more direction, well, you gotta set up the 600D and point it towards that window. And I know we're supposed to have this on a combo stand, but I spent all my money on this light. So many cords. Hopefully it reaches. You know, the helicopters always like to come out when we're recording. You know, maybe I should put this in the shade so this light doesn't overheat. I think we're good. Alrighty. Let's hook this up. I think I got it at full power. Yeah, we're at full power. So now this is what it looks like. We've got the 600D blasting at 100% with the F10 Fresnel coming straight through the window, creating that direction, making it look like the sun is coming through the window. And when you saw in the opening sequence, it was at night, completely pitch black, and we were able to recreate a daylight looking scene with just one light blasting it through the window. So whenever you want to add direction, you want to add these lines and textures on the wall, get a 600D and point it through the window. It'll give you a great look. Also, we can kind of shoot towards the light too and make it look like the sun is also coming through, creating some lens flares. And it's just one of those creative ways that people use these high-powered lights to recreate sun or to control their lighting the way they want to. So this setup is my favorite way to light an interview because it creates a nice, soft, flattering light. What we do is we get the 600D and we bounce it off of this cloth. So this cloth is special because it's called unbleached mousseline, and you can get it at Joann's Fabrics, and it's super, super cheap. And all we did is we got this blackout curtain that was white. It's like a neutral color, or kind of got it like this, almost the same color as the mousseline. And we kind of stitched it together because, as you can see, this material is very thin. If we put a light through it, it's just gonna shine straight through there, and it's not gonna bounce back. And we're gonna lose some output. So we put a blackout curtain and the mousseline, and what we do is we get this 600D, and what we bounce the light, and we're gonna put our subject here, and you're gonna see in a minute, it's gonna bounce back. It creates a nice flattering looking light. It's basically like we're putting them right next to a window. Now, you do need a little bit of space to do this. If you're really tight on space, what you could do, you don't have to get these stands. You could get them, and you can actually gaff tape it to the wall and use your F10 Fresnel and bounce it, kind of shape your light to bounce directly off of that fabric. And we use this all the time when we film our interviews. So let's take a look and see how it looks. And as you can see here, we get this nice flattering light that's soft, looks natural, and it's been utilized a lot by Roger Deakins in a lot of his movies. No Country for Old Men uses this type of lighting. It's called cove lighting. And as you can see in the background, we have some highlights, but they're not blown out because we're able to kind of bring those down and then use our 600D to kind of fill up our shadows. In my opinion, if you don't need weather sealing, if you don't need these fancy radio controls or a fancy ballast, I would opt to get the non-pro version. It's really a no-brainer. You're gonna get the same performance, the same light accuracy, the light output is all gonna be the same as the Aputure's 600D Pro version. So if you don't need all of that extra stuff, or weather sealing really would be kind of the main decision maker for most people, I would just opt for the cheaper light, save $500, and then you can use that $500 to get yourself an F10 Fresnel and barn doors. It really is a great, great deal that Aputure is offering to people trying to get into filmmaking. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you can be notified anytime I post a video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.